Hi, I'm James Weatherford, and I want to give you some sort of formal introduction to the course. This introduction will consist of several parts that are very important, the first of which being you seeing me in a real video. Um, we have some lectures that are on here, but a lot of them are just audio recordings. They're not actually videos, so I'd like you to have a first point of contact with me, Mr. Weatherford, um, Instructor Weatherford, not Professor, because that's a paid position. I'm not a doctor, just have a couple of master's degrees, but really just Weatherford, Mr. Weatherford, Instructor Weatherford, if you will. So just really quickly, I guess the very first thing I should tell you is kind of what humanities are or is, depending on how you use the word. A lot of folks don't have a clue in the world really what this class is about or what they're getting into, and they have an idea that it's something to do with humanity, but not really sure. It's a history class. I mean, let's be honest. I'm not gonna mislead you. It's just the kind of history we study are the parts of history that deal with art, philosophy, religion, movements in culture, movements in thought, kind of the evolution of the human creativity as, beginning with the prehistory era where we were, just kind of drawing in caves, and how that over time becomes something a little more significant and grows into a greater expression of the human, especially in art form. We see how humans begin to depict themselves through art. Um, and religion's a big part of humanity, and philosophy is a big part of humanity. And we'll look at some issues that are kind of controversial as well, that I think rest at the core questions we wrestle with as humans about what it means to be human and what happens when we dehumanize other people. So anti-Semitism is actually one of the topics that gets brought up in this course. Hopefully it's not the last time, but it may be the only time for some people. It's not a very popular topic, but one that I believe should be discussed nonetheless. So rather than me ramble on and on, I'd like to let this video kind of move to a different setting, which is walking you through the Blackboard page itself, showing you the components. I mean, I can tell you now, this course consists really of very few things, right? Reading in your textbook and taking reading quizzes. Then there are discussion board questions prompts that you'll answer where you discuss them with the class. Then there are some personal journal writings that you'll do based on some selected topics, just to kind of give you an opportunity to wrestle with some of the ideas that we discuss, that we will read in the class. We also have readings that are not just the textbook. So you have the text, then you have some selected journal articles and some even primary readings. I try to introduce some period pieces of literature, whether it be religious or philosophical or fiction or something, to let you look at those and really kind of asking that ultimate question of what are human values, and how do we detect human values as they're represented through texts and things like that. So, right, reading quizzes, discussion boards, journals, there's exams, and then you have two papers. One is a fine arts visit, where you will go to either a museum or you will visit a like a dance recital or something in the fine or visual or performing arts. Preferably not your kids' play at their school, although it's not restricted that we can't do that, but maybe that you would go somewhere you've never been before, go to something you weren't going to go to anyway, like maybe the Holocaust Museum or the Dallas Museum of Art or Will Rogers or anything in Fort Worth, the Modern, etc. So there you go. And then there's a research paper, which it's 6 to 8 pages long. I've given you a whole slew of possible topic area ideas, and all of this is found in your syllabus, and I'll walk you through that as I go through the parts on Blackboard and we look at the syllabus. So I'm going to actually stop the video here and transition, though to you the transition will be very short, but it'll actually be about 10 minutes for me to get set up to where I can record the rest of this introduction. So and the next shot will be on Blackboard. So being that this course is an online course with Hill College, we will use Blackboard. So if you're unfamiliar with how to get to Blackboard, you just go to blackboard.hillcollege.edu. Of course, there are links from the Hill College homepage website that will get you to this screen, but the easiest way is to just type it up here in your browser, blackboard.hillcollege.edu, and then bookmark it, keep it. You'll always be able to get to it quickly. Now that I've said browser, let me also make a recommendation to you. Actually, let me just tell you, use Chrome. It seems to be the most adaptive, the most functional browser for Blackboard. And the ebook, actually, that we're going to use with Pearson. Many of you may have the Edge browser with Microsoft Internet Explorer. Let me help you now beyond the scope of this course. Let me help you for the rest of your life. Just forget about Internet Explorer. Bury it in the backyard and never think about it again. It's the worst browser ever. Totally do not recommend it. I would say always, always, always use Chrome. Chrome is free, chrome.com. You can download it. That is how I suggest you carry out the functions of this course and really the functions of all of your internet browsing from here forward. Firefox is pretty good, but I think Chrome is quicker, and Chrome seems to work faster than Safari does on my Mac. Chrome just starts up and you go. All those other browsers seem to get bogged down with whatever garbage is on the internet causing them to get bogged down. But I'm not here to talk about browsers. I want to talk about Blackboard. So here, once you're to this screen, you log in with the credentials that you should know that are unique to you. You click login, and then you will get to this page. Now, this must be review probably for many of you, but for some of you it may not be. So I want to make sure that I'm thorough. Here you'll see maymini 2016. That's us, right? So click here. And I understand as of right now, there's not a whole lot of people in our class. I think 4. Last time I checked, there may be more. I'm actually hoping there will be more by the time we fully get standing up. So when it comes to your discussion boards, if there's only 1 or 2 people responding, that's what we got. If there's only 1 other person responding and I respond, that's what we got. But the minimum for discussion board posts is to respond to 2 others. That's the general rule. But if you don't have 2 people responding to or postings that you can respond to, then obviously I cannot take off from your points because you didn't have somebody to talk to. So on this screen right now, this is pretty much what it looks like for me. And I'm going to actually change the view here, but I want you to see over here on the left hand side. Like right now, these links are all populated. When I switch to your view, it won't look the same because I have not made all of the course available at the point that I have the course becomes available, because we start like a week after. So really the point of opening the course up a few days before the semester starts or the mini-semester starts is so that you can get on here and get access to your ebook and things like that. So alright, with no further ado, I'm going to put it on student view so you can see what it will look like on your end. So this is your home page. When you log in, you'll come to this page, and as you see, I've said for best results, use the Chrome browser, please. Now, like I said over here, these links, see how they all disappeared. So right now, all you have access to is Module 1, Chapter 1 through 7, and the days, the first days. And these are kind of like clusters of days. For instance, we have this cluster of days, which is Monday 5/16 through
Tuesday 517. So it's 2 days. And what you'll do the very first day is complete what is in this folder. Really, those first 2 days, it's imperative that you go in there, you do all of this, especially registering for your ebook, reading through your syllabus, taking this really important quiz down here at the bottom, syllabus policies and academic honesty agreement, doing your first discussion board post. Not too much to do, honestly. There's a lot here, but nothing that you can't do in 2 days. Now, I have to again warn you, you did sign up for a mini-mester course, so you know, right, that this is going to like move lightning fast. There's a lot of content to cover in a short amount of time. It's not impossible. In fact, if it were up to me, if I were to do it all over again, I wouldn't even go to school during the long semesters, and I would just take all my courses during the May mini and the summer courses. That's what I would have, I would have done that, but I didn't do that. So you're wise to be in a class like this in this format, but it is a challenge. Not one that you are incapable of meeting, but it is a challenge nonetheless. So I've explained here in this first folder, Module 1, 516 through 517 is where we actually begin in this class. I've given a breakdown of how you'll see the course laid out. Just like we see here on the module page, I lay out this sort of grid pattern. This grid pattern is the exact same one with links that you see on the home page. So you see here on the home page we have Module 1, Chapter 1 through 7, Module 2, Chapter 8 through 13, Module 3, Chapter 14 through 20. And so what you see on this main page will be what you see when you follow the links for each module. So as I look here, this is the first day, and I'm going to read this, I'm going to watch and listen to these things, and I'm going to complete these items, and then, it's grayed out, so I must not have any major assignments due. Perfect. Click on this link, you see the exact same little piece for that cluster of days. I'd show you the rest, but since I've blocked some of these folders, if I were to have clicked on the other folders that you can't see right now, you would see that same piece of the grid of the layout from the module homepage. Also, to your benefit, all of that course plan grid is found in the back of your syllabus, which is over here. Okay, so I'll show you that. Syllabus. It's taking time to load. Not really sure. I've never actually clicked on this link when I was as a student view. I may not like it, so it doesn't seem to be opening. I'm going to go back one. So if I click on syllabus, let's see what happens. Oh, there it is. Click on this link, and there's your syllabus. If it ever decides to load. Okay, here is the syllabus. Very simple explanation of the course, the book, and like the point I wanted to show you, though, the reason why I came over here was to show you that this course plan is found here in the very back of the syllabus, Module 1. And there's that same grid pattern again. What do you read? What do you watch? Listen to? What do you complete? And do you have any major assignments due? So every day, just look at this. I recommend print this off and at least print off the course plan and have it handy. It's 3 pages long. Every single day you wake up, pull it out, look at it, say, what are we doing today? Was I supposed to read today? Or, if it's like covering a cluster of days, for example, the second cluster is 3 days long. but we also cover 3 chapters. We have 2 readings that are, beyond the book. There's a lecture to listen to that covers 3 chapters. It's pretty long, and then you've got discussion and journal over here and reading quizzes. And so every day I'd be like, where am I at on this? Take a look at it. And there's some days that are heavy, and then there are some days that I try to take it a little more easy on you. We only cover 1 chapter on Saturday, 5:21. So, and we have a primary reading, and then a lecture, and then a short little cartoon video about the life of Krishna, and then 1 journal, and then you have an exam. You have to turn in your paper topic, but that's not too hard. So that's a light day, and I try to do the same thing on the days the papers are due, for example, or not papers, but exams. Here we actually cover Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it's pretty light, so I try to have some days in there where you can catch your breath. You just read chapter 11, 12, and 13, right? Doesn't sound like much, but all you're going to do is take there's 1 lecture, do the reading quizzes, take the exam, all that in 3 days. I think is pretty manageable. They say that you should spend 3 hours outside of class for every hour you spend in class. And so combine those hours together. If we were already meeting 3 hours a week in class, on a 2-day schedule, then that would mean you were supposed to be spending, what is it? So 3, 6, 9, so a total of 12 hours a week devoted to 1 class that you'd be meeting on a regular schedule. So it's not too unreasonable for us to figure out a way to get the same amount of contact time for a course like this. Let me go back to this module 1 so I can show you again that breakdown. So you click over here, takes you over here, click that link, it opens you up into the content that's there. And I give an explanation about read, watch, listen, complete, and major assignments. And then in every page, I'm going to give you these arrows and this bold. It's going to say, read this, watch and listen to this, complete this. And if there were to be a major assignment, there'd be a major assignment with arrows at the very bottom, and that would be where you would submit. And that is to follow the same grid pattern that I've given you in the course plan, and as well on each folder link for that cluster of days. I hope this is helpful, and I hope it's not confusing trying to explain it to you. Just click around, you'll figure it out. It just takes a little bit of time to get, the hang of things. So on the discussions, let's say this first cluster, we do discussion 1. It's very straightforward. You're going to study. You're going to answer the question, why study the humanities, and you're going to actually use YouTube to find some answers to that question. And you're going to listen, watch a few videos, and then you're going to answer the question and respond to 2 others based on what you find on the web. But when you click on a link like this, you'll come to this page that says Create Thread. Then you click on Create Thread. Just like you would be sending an email, you are going to put the subject, put something here, and submit. When everyone has done that, this screen will be populated with a list of threads. You just click on 1 thread and read what they said and respond to it directly. And respond to it thoughtfully. We're not looking for pat answers. I'm looking for, like, if you were having a real intellectually stimulating conversation with somebody, not for a grade, but in order to discover and learn more about the topic and to really understand what somebody else was thinking and why they said what they said, that kind of conversation. So be thoughtful, be thorough. If somebody posts a response to you and asks you a question, answer them back. Don't just think, well, I did my 2 responses, I'm fine, I'm done, I got my grade. No, please respond to somebody if they ask you a question or try to engage you. this is more than just for a grade. This is to foster dialogue and discourse about the topics of the course that we're going through. So um, let's see, reading quizzes. They'll be based on your book. So let's say we come down here, reading quiz number 1. You can click here, and this will, you just begin and start answering the questions. They're unlimited. You can do them as many times as you want. Get the highest score you'd like. They're open book. Just make sure that you do them. And then you also get to all of those reading quizzes in one link. Right now, I believe that I have only have this one folder available, but there will be more links here when you click on reading quizzes. Just say Module 1, Module 2, Module 3. Right now they're hidden because, like I said, some things are hidden. And then exams. There's a link for exams over here on the left. This is your first exam, chapters 1 through 7. Right now it's available as I'm doing this video, but it'll probably not be. So, but it'll become available as we get closer to the time to take the test. And then, like I said, here in the back of the syllabus, we have the course plan, but we also have the explanation for the 2 writing assignments that you'll do. The fine arts assignment is major, but it's short. Let me scroll down to it. That's the research paper. Let me show you the fine art. Fine arts paper is very short. You're just going to go visit somewhere, and you're going to write really 300 words. So the biggest part is going, and then reflecting on what you experienced. And then a huge part of this is that you submit a ticket stub somehow to prove you went somewhere. It could be a pamphlet, could be a flyer, handout, something, even a selfie with you and the cast. Somehow something proving that you were there. I prefer a ticket stub or a program or something like that, and you'll upload it here in this folder over here. I'll show you in a second. Before we go to those 2 folders, let me show you the research paper. Here on the research paper, I've given you possible topic areas. Any one of these are fine, but you also can petition me for another topic as well. I can approve it or turn it down, but as long as it fits within the scope and the realm of humanities and the study of kind of the human experience from prehistory to 1600, it's fair game. So it's a very, very broad course. We cover a lot. And then I give you an explanation on how to write the paper, how to form a thesis. I mean, that's the most important thing. If you don't have a thesis, you don't really have a paper. If you don't know what your thesis is, then your reader won't know. And I'm your reader, so I want to know what you've written and what your point is. Then it gives you an explanation about using scholarly sources, and then really using the full MLA style, size 12 font, double space, 1-inch margins, proper header, proper heading, proper title, those sort of things. Then I give you a breakdown of how you'll be graded on the paper. Like I said, all this is in the syllabus in the very back, but it's also found in these folders over here. So the fine arts paper link over here under major assignments, it's got the guidelines. There'll be a day on the, as you see on the course plan, that you'll submit the selection of where you're going to go. So I do want to know pretty early on where you plan to attend. So be thinking about that. Research paper link here. When you have your topic, you'll come here. This link will also be in the module folder for the day that it's due, and then you preferably browse my computer and submit it in a document or you can do write my submission. I guess it doesn't really matter on that one, but when you write your paper, you have to submit a document. So research paper, different topics, fine arts paper. Let's see, this would be, for example, your selection. You click here. All right, so I think that kind of covers everything. So, oh no, doesn't cover everything. Most importantly, I've forgotten to tell you about the ebook. Now we use an ebook in this class, but we can also use the paper book. It's up to you, whichever one you want. There are online assignments that come with this Pearson Revel. I haven't been using them. I used them at first, and then I didn't use them this semester. I'll probably implement some of them later on. But they didn't have integration with Blackboard, and so I thought it was just stupid. And I was like, it's a waste of time because I have to go and you have like a separate grade on Revel, but it didn't sync with the grade book on Blackboard. And so I said, well, I'm not going to use it then. But if you want to access the ebook, you can purchase, register, and all the above by clicking the link there on our homepage. And it'll take you to this registration page, and it'll ask you first if you have an account, right? Just say, oh, you want to sign in with your Pearson account. So if this is your first time to ever register with Pearson, you can say, no, I want to create a Pearson account, and you can actually, the dates are wrong on this because it's an old book. I'm going to update that. Don't worry. But when you click on creating a Pearson account, it'll give you an opportunity to just go ahead and purchase your access right there. So, but if you get a hold of a paper book that is used, that's fine. Just use that. If you buy the new book, I think in the bookstore, it's going to come with the ebook access. I think you have both. But if you can just, for a cheaper amount, just buy access to the ebook, then do that. You're not required to have the ebook. You're not required to have the paper book. You can have either or both and. It is entirely up to you. And so there you go. So this will be how you get to the ebook. There's also an explanation in this first cluster in Module 1 of how to access the ebook as well. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I can't think of anything else. Anything, you need to access over here. Your grades. Click My Grades and you'll see all of these grades, potential grades, and whatnot there. The journal grades and the discussion grades are one part of the course percentages for how you'll be graded. So they're one category, and then the discussions, or the quizzes are a category of their own, and the major writing assignments. So let me show you breakdown. Right here we have quizzes, exams, discussions and journals, humanities research, fine arts exhibit visit. So everything's categorized 20% across the board. Just keep in mind that you have like 2 grades that are 20% each, the writing portion. So, and I will drop, some of the quiz grade, lowest quiz grades, maybe 2 lowest quiz grades, drop to maybe 1 of the discussion journals. Yeah. So the big weight of the course, you would be able to pass if you didn't do both of those. You could probably skip 1 and still get an 80 if you did excellent in every other area, but that's not a challenge, so don't try to take me up on it. All right, so there you go. That's the introduction to the course. If you need help with anything, text me or email me at jweatherford@hillcollege.edu. This is my phone number as well, right here. You can pretty much text me whenever. You can't bother me Honestly, if I don't want to be bothered, then I just will ignore your text until I can get to it. So it doesn't bother me if you have a question, but I'm pretty quick. I mean, rarely do I draw out a reply, even if the reply is as simple as like, I don't know, hold on, let me get back to you. And if I do that and you don't hear from me, text me again. You're not going to bug me. But I try to keep a pretty tight connection to anyone who needs help. So don't feel afraid to reach out. That's what my job is, especially as we're, doing this distance education thing. I would like to make it not feel so distant. So if you need anything, you know how to get a hold of me. Text me or email me. It's on the syllabus. Um, awesome. Just one final note is you'll never email me a single assignment in this class. Ever. 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 So just use the links that are on Blackboard to submit all of your assignments. I say this every time, but I still get a bunch of people who send me stuff, and my response will be submitted on Blackboard because I have to keep a solid documented place where you put it in, and I looked at it, I graded it, and it went to the grade book, and Blackboard, that's what it's for. So, all right, well, if you have questions, you know how to get a hold of me. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring it to an end right there.